For decades, archaeologists thought they understood the timeline of human civilization. Hunter-gatherers became farmers. Farmers built villages. Villages became cities. And only then did humans create temples and monuments. But in 1994, everything changed. A discovery in the hills of southeastern Turkey shattered every assumption about our ancient past. A massive temple complex built by people who supposedly didn't know how to build temples. Stone pillars carved with intricate symbols by hunters who supposedly couldn't write. And astronomical knowledge that predates our earliest civilizations by thousands of years. In 2024, researchers finally cracked the code. They discovered that this ancient site isn't just a temple, it's a portal. Not to another dimension, but to a catastrophic event that changed the course of human history forever. What you're about to discover will rewrite everything you thought you knew about the dawn of civilization. This is Ancient Portal finally exposed. Let's dive into the mystery that's been hiding in plain sight for 13,000 years. Picture this: 1994, southeastern Turkey. A Kurdish shepherd named Savak Yildiz is tending his flock when he notices something strange protruding from the ground. What he found wasn't just another ancient ruin. It was Göbekli Tepe. German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt arrived in 1995 and immediately knew he was looking at something extraordinary. Massive stone pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons, arranged in perfect circles. Intricate carvings of animals that seemed to tell a story. 11,500 years old. That made Göbekli Tepe older than Stonehenge by 6,000 years. Older than the pyramids by 7,000 years. But here's the impossible part. According to everything archaeologists thought they knew, the people who built this shouldn't have existed. They were supposed to be simple hunter-gatherers, following herds across the landscape. Instead, they found evidence of a sophisticated society capable of quarrying, transporting, and precisely arranging massive stone monuments. Someone had rewritten the rules of human development, and they'd done it 13,000 years ago. We're not just talking about big rocks arranged in a circle. We're talking about precision engineering that rivals modern construction. Each pillar is a masterpiece, but it's not just their size that's impressive. It's the details. Lions, boars, foxes, snakes, scorpions, and birds, all carved with incredible precision. But here's what's truly mind-blowing. The builders used techniques that we thought weren't invented until thousands of years later. The site consists of multiple circular enclosures, each one carefully planned and positioned. The largest circle is 65 feet across. That's bigger than most modern houses. And they built at least 20 of these circles across the hilltop. The limestone was quarried from the hill itself, but moving 20-ton blocks without wheels, without metal tools, without domesticated animals, that should have been impossible for hunter-gatherers. Yet somehow, 13,000 years ago, these primitive people were accomplishing feats of engineering that we struggle to understand today. For decades, archaeologists could only guess at Göbekli Tepe's purpose. Was it a temple? An astronomical observatory? A meeting place for scattered tribes? Then came 2024. Dr. Martin Sweatman, an engineer at the University of Edinburgh, made a discovery that changed everything. He wasn't looking at the pillars as art or architecture. He was looking at them as data. Pillar 43, the most famous pillar at Göbekli Tepe, contains a series of V-shaped carvings that had puzzled researchers for years. Sweatman realized these weren't random decorations. They were a calendar, not just any calendar, the world's oldest known lunisolar calendar. But this calendar wasn't created for farming or religious festivals. It was created to record the most catastrophic event in human history, a comet strike that nearly wiped out our species. The V-shaped symbol worn around the neck of a bird-like figure, that represents the summer solstice constellation at the time of impact. The entire pillar is a stone record of the day the sky fell. Göbekli Tepe isn't just a temple, it's humanity's first disaster memorial, a portal back to the moment that changed everything. Around 10,850 BCE, something catastrophic happened. A comet, possibly multiple fragments from the Taurid meteor stream, slammed into Earth with devastating force. The impact triggered a 1,200-year mini ice age called the Younger Dryas period. Global temperatures plummeted, ice sheets advanced, and most of the large animal species that humans depended on went extinct. Woolly mammoths, giant ground sloths, saber-toothed cats, all gone. Faced with extinction, humans had to adapt or die. They couldn't follow the herds anymore because the herds were gone. They couldn't rely on gathering because the climate had changed. They had to find a new way to survive, and that's exactly what they did. The comet impact that nearly destroyed humanity also forced the agricultural revolution. People settled down, learned to grow crops, and began building permanent communities. The catastrophe that the builders of Göbekli Tepe recorded in stone wasn't just a disaster, it was the birth of civilization itself. But Göbekli Tepe reveals something even more extraordinary than a comet impact. It shows that our ancestors possessed knowledge we thought was impossible for their time. The calendar carved into Pillar 43 demonstrates that these ancient people could track the precession of Earth's axis, the slow wobble that changes which stars appear in the sky over thousands of years. This discovery predates the documented understanding of precession by Hipparchus of ancient Greece by over 10,000 years. Think about that. Stone Age hunters understood celestial mechanics that we thought weren't discovered until the height of classical civilization. Another pillar at Göbekli Tepe appears to depict the Taurid meteor stream, the source of the comet fragments that caused the impact. The ancient builders could identify and track specific meteor streams in the night sky. The site itself demonstrates sophisticated planning. The circular enclosures are precisely oriented to astronomical events. The construction required coordinating hundreds of workers over decades. The artistic program follows consistent themes and symbols. This wasn't random construction by scattered tribes. This was a coordinated effort by a sophisticated society with advanced knowledge of astronomy, engineering, and symbolic communication. Göbekli Tepe is a portal to a lost chapter of human history, a time when our ancestors knew far more than we ever imagined. But the story doesn't end with Göbekli Tepe. As archaeologists began looking more carefully, they discovered that this wasn't an isolated phenomenon. Similar sites began emerging across the ancient world. In Malta, temples older than the pyramids show the same sophisticated astronomical alignments. In Ireland, Newgrange demonstrates precise solar observations from 5,000 years ago. In Peru, megalithic structures display engineering techniques that mirror those found in Turkey. The pattern is unmistakable. Around the world, in the aftermath of the Younger Dryas catastrophe, human societies began building monuments that encoded astronomical knowledge and preserved the memory of cosmic disaster. These weren't primitive peoples stumbling toward civilization. These were the survivors of a global catastrophe, working to preserve crucial knowledge for future generations. Göbekli Tepe wasn't the beginning of human achievement. It was humanity's attempt to rebuild and remember after nearly losing everything. What does this mean for us today? The discovery at Göbekli Tepe forces us to completely reconsider human history and our place in the cosmos. It reminds us that Earth exists in a dangerous cosmic environment. The Taurid meteor stream that devastated our ancestors is still active. NASA tracks potentially hazardous asteroids, but the threat remains real.
An asteroid hurtling towards the Earth is something real-life scientists are preparing for at NASA. They're refining the plan because in a few short years, a space rock could come quite close.
Third, It shows the importance of preserving knowledge across generations. The builders of Göbekli Tepe understood that information could be lost, so they encoded it in stone. What are we doing to preserve our knowledge for future civilizations? Göbekli Tepe stands as both a warning and an inspiration. Proof that humanity can survive cosmic catastrophe, but only if we remember the lessons of the past. As we stand at Göbekli Tepe today, we're not just looking at ancient stones. We're looking through a portal, a window into a lost world where our ancestors faced the ultimate test of survival and passed their knowledge down to us. The ancient builders of Göbekli Tepe left us a message carved in stone: remember, learn, survive. The question isn't whether there are more portals to the past waiting to be discovered. The question is, are we ready for what we might find? What do you think? Have we only scratched the surface of human history? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more ancient mysteries that will blow your mind.